I chose to discuss topic 1 in my thread this week. I have to admit that copyright issues are something I never think about as a teacher. Going into this week, I had a number of wrong perceptions about my rights as a teacher regarding this area and wrongly assumed that the Fair Use Clause was a blanket allowance for me in the classroom. I agree with CISEC 2017, who wrote that educators of all types commonly reference and reproduce items for instructional use without fully understanding how the laws that cover U.S. copyright, fair use, and free use affect them. Minkle 2002 made an insightful observation when he said that many educators find copyright restrictions difficult to grasp, so they simply ignore them. The myths mentioned on page 259 and 260 of our Simonson textbook really were eye-opening, as many of them were ideas I believed. I thought the information presented under Myth 4 about fair use and the 4 criteria for fair use mentioned on page 262 and 263 were very helpful. Fair use is a privilege for educators, but it still must be cautiously exercised and vetted. I believe that a major key in how I use others' material in my classroom is that I do it in a way that does not profit or take credit for its creation, and that credit should be given to the original creator whenever possible. Numerous times in my teaching career, I've asked other teachers to use or borrow their work in my teaching, and have always been well received in that request. As CISEC 2017 wrote, many professionals are happy to share their creations, but generally expect potential users to request permission as a professional courtesy. If I could boil down to my biggest takeaways from this week's module, it's that I must be resolute in carefully choosing what materials to use, persistent in seeking permission from the creators of the material, and consistent in giving credit to the authors of the material I use. I wholeheartedly agree with CISEC 2017 that it is the educator's ethical responsibility to model appropriate use of content.